We're live.
Hello.
Hey.
Welcome to Tuesday. Misbehaving Meats. This is Tips from the Bar.
Tips from the Bar. Every Tuesday.
We gotta be careful.
6:30 when we're able to make it on time.
That's right. And we're on time tonight for the first time in a couple weeks, I think. RG is on assignment this week.
Yep. He's out and about doing client stuff and client-related matters.
That's how it goes. You gotta work, you know.
But don't worry, we got you. And we're going to keep you covered with plenty of tips here today.
Number one tip, new software.
New software.
I'm going to joke about this because we spent so much time the other week talking about our new practice management software. Now we're going in a step further with some marketing stuff we're doing. And so we're really excited about where that's going. But that's going to be a little more complicated, a little more in-depth. But
I'm super excited about it. We are geeking out over it. Like we did with the practice management system.
No, we don't do that.
I know, right?
Come on.
Just like, so, I mean, okay, there's a fundamental, passion within all of our partners to drive forward the practice of law to be better for clients. It's like a vision that we're always trying to achieve, trying to become closer and closer. Something that you can never completely reach, but we always want to try to make the experience with our clients and our systems better. Smoother,
yeah.
Efficiency, better communication.
Well, and I think one of the things that's going to specifically pop out of this new stuff is you're going to see more blogs on topics that are important to you.
Yeah.
So right now, we kind of, whatever strikes our fancy, we write a blog on it. And we've been going out a little bit at a time. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to be able to step that up with this new software and write more focused, more impactful blogs that are kind of in general on topics that are more important to people right now.
Right.
And so I'm really excited about the opportunity for that, just for the aspect of you being able to use our website more functionally.
Yep.
As a resource for information, as well as just being able to answer questions more clearly and
follow up.
Obviously, you always have the ability to write us a question, and we'll feel free to write a blog on it or something. But
anytime that you want to post something, either on our Facebook page, on one of these videos comments, give us a call at 219-230-3600 or email any of us. And I mean, you're welcome to ask us questions a million different ways, or off the website as well.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, if you want us to say, if you say, hey, I'd like you to talk about this subject on your next tip from the bar, let us know. We'll do it.
That's what we do.
So you can point to your friend or spouse or whoever and say, hey, that's my question.
We'll give a good shout out to you if you want us to.
If you wanted to. And if it's general enough.
If it's general enough. If it's anything too specific, we would not call you out onto Facebook Live. That good old attorney-client privilege thing.
There you go.
Right, where, we say your name, we will give up our license. That's pretty much the gamble.
It's not quite that strict. And if we're just talking topics, we're not. That's something we can talk about. When does that apply? Because a lot of that's just in preparation for a lawsuit or case.
Yeah, attorney-client privilege. Okay, so another thing that when we are developing better ways to do the practice of law, one of the things that we must comply with is the rules of professional conduct that are associated, that attorneys have to follow. We got to follow these things. They are ethical guidelines. Not ethical guidelines, they're ethical rules. We have to follow these things. Otherwise, the disciplinary committee, right?
Yeah,
we can get reported to. They can discipline us. We can be sanctioned. We can pay fines. We can lose our license. Yeah, there's significant consequences.
There's some bad stuff that some of them do, and that's really what causes some of the more detrimental stuff. Some more like licenses being lost and that kind of thing.
Now, there are some rules that, it's tough to develop your practice when these rules might not make complete sense anymore. For example, one of them, that you must have the name of at least one of the partners in the name of the firm. Right? So we can't, that's an Indiana rule, and it's in several other states too. There's some that don't have that. But for example, there was another firm, I don't remember if they were in Illinois or where they were, but they didn't have this law, and so they called the law firm Tiger Law Firm.
Oh, yeah.
Tiger, right?
Well, because they were doing business in Indiana with.
That's what they tried to do.
Yeah.
They tried to then.
It's hard to explain.
Nobody's last name was Tiger. They just liked tigers. Right? Yeah. Who doesn't? Am I right?
I mean, who doesn't like the law hawk in Texas?
Yeah, exactly. The law hawk of Texas. If you want to Google and really
the Texas law hawk,
super
hilarious
attorney ad, yeah. But anyway, you have to have a last name. Well, the Tiger law firm tried to come over to Indiana where you have to have the last name, and they got sanctioned for it. They said no.
Yeah.
Indiana was like, no, you have to have the last name.
But Isaac, which one of us is CCSK?
Nobody knows anymore. No, so we branding the name because originally when we had launched, it was the Cartel over Scatterberg and Kazmazak LLC.
And nobody needs to say that.
Nobody needs to say that. It takes me
That's
forever
ridiculous.
to get that. We are now developing into the Council of Carr, Scatterberg, and
I don't
Kazmazak
think we've ever really explained on here.
of how our name came.
Yeah.
So we had to include one of our last names in there.
Yeah.
And we tried to come up with a way that we could say it, but then simplify it down so that people did not have to try to say all of our last names. I'm not going to lie,
Right.
Kazmazak is tough to say.
It is not. It is not just my name.
Yeah.
Hello. No.
No. Skadberg was pretty hard to say, too. People would always mispronounce that one.
Yep.
Right? And so what we did instead,
I think he's just saying them together in conjunction.
I mean, you say them in conjunction,
it
it
just
just
gets too
becomes a
much.
whole jumble of
It's a
letters.
mouthful. Yeah.
What we did was, I love using the name as a metaphor for what we do. If you've watched our shows in the past, our motto, we simplify law. Law simplified for you. We took the complicated name of our law firm,
We
all put together,
simplified it.
and we simplified it. That's what we did. We broke it down. But it still involves our last names.
Yeah.
You can still tie it to us. And the reason for that law, or for the ethical guideline, ethical rule, it's a rule as a professional conduct. The
They're really
reason
more
for
like
that-
guidelines.
Some of them, they actually do have suggestions and advisories and comments that go with
Right.
them that say
Because
this
they're
is
not
how you
always
do it.
clear.
Right.
They're not always clear. It's not quite like black and white rules. It is sort of guideline rules.
Some of them are guidelines. Some of them are like hard rules where they have laid it out
Right.
pretty black and white. Like you got to have one of the name of the partners in the firm.
Right.
But the reason for that was originally to tie accountability to at least one of the partners, so that the public knew at least one of the people responsible for that.
Right.
With today's technology and the way that you have to organize businesses, it's hard to hide any kind of partners. You don't have secret partners around there that can't be found
Right.
liable for this.
Yeah.
And so it's not nearly as a prevalent rule anymore, but it's still stuck around, hasn't been overturned. And so we had to come up with our last names into the firm, but then simplified it down to CCSK Law, Law Simplified for You. And that's what we broke it down
The
to.
law simplified for you is the slogan, not the name. But
Not the name,
but
but yeah,
it does. It does. And
flows right
it
into it.
simplifies it down for people so they can have an easier way to say who we are without, having to memorize or spell. Heaven forbid somebody have to write on a check. I don't think there's enough room on a check when they're writing a check for their retainer.
Oh man, writing that whole thing out is ridiculous.
You're ridiculous.
So what brought this about though was what kind of rules are we governed by? What do we have to follow? And attorney-client privilege is one that we were hitting on. I went off that side tangent to talk about kind of the rules in general and use that one as an example. But attorney-client privilege, you bet that's still a very prevalent rule. So generally the rule states that anything said between the client and the attorney cannot disclose that information unless it's directly going to cause a crime that will injure other people. If a client comes in and says, hey, I'm going to go murder my wife, I'll see you later.
It's
All
getting
right.
told.
That can get told. But if the client comes in and says, so I've already, the cops have arrested me and I did murder my wife.
That's different.
That's different. We cannot disclose that. That right there, the client can admit that to us and we're not allowed to say anything.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's how strict that is.
And I think
anything you say to us, we will
especially-
keep confidential.
But especially in criminal law, you get people that are nervous about telling too much to the attorney because they feel like, well, if the attorney knows everything, it might get out somehow, and I might not get the best deal, or I might not be able to work my case as well. But the fact of the matter is, your attorney needs to know so they can structure the case. So everything that you can tell them, the more you can tell them, the more, the better.
More information
Always helps the attorney, and it's protected when you're preparing for a case. So.
We have to zealously advocate on your behalf, which means disclosing all the information gives us a better bearing, even though sometimes our recommendations might not be something you'd like.
Yeah.
You give us all the information, such as if you owe a whole lot of money to somebody who has a mortgage on your commercial property,
Yep.
which we're citing a specific case that we had to deal with in the past, where
You might have to get rid of the property.
You might have to get rid of the property.
That might be the best move.
When you haven't paid for a couple years and you just took out and you refinanced and you did everything you could, but that property still isn't making money and you're not able to keep pushing it forward.
Gotta bite the bullet.
You gotta bite the bullet. You can't just go get another mortgage to pay off your current mortgage. Right. It's not gonna work.
It can be problematic.
Right. Sometimes you have to cut your losses and own up to what kind of holes you dug yourself into.
And the nice thing there is it really, the process of selling it's a little difficult, but once it's sold and off your plate, you can feel free to start fresh. I mean, you get that weight off, and it's like, okay, I go on to the next business and try the next thing, rather than sitting there dragging the debt around and having issues with it. Same thing happens in bankruptcy too. So many people spend years and years and years trying to pay off the debt a little bit at a time, and they never get out from it. When hey, if you've given it a couple of years and you're not really cutting into your debt, there's a chance that bankruptcy might be the answer, just to get it off your plate and start fresh. And I've actually, part of what I'm going to be putting together is I'm putting together a new video series with this new software we have. Ooh. And so I'm very excited about where it's going. Yeah. But one of the things I did is I went through and I got a list of people that are successful, that everybody will recognize, the majority of them on the list, that all declared bankruptcy before they became successful.
That's going to be awesome.
And I'm telling you, it is cool because some of the names on the list, I didn't know they had declared bankruptcy. I mean, we're talking presidents, not Trump. I'm talking other presidents too. Okay, even though he has declared plenty of bankruptcies for his businesses. Yeah. But presidents, big name manufacturing, actors, actresses. I mean, we're talking people that normally you'd look at it and say, oh, well, they've never had financial trouble. They've just, no, a lot of these people declare bankruptcy. Actually, one of the big ones that most people have heard of that are having issues with their finances, that a lot of people go to Dave Ramsey. He's written several books. He's got a great radio show. He talks about how to get out of debt and things of that nature. But he is one that himself declared bankruptcy.
Wow.
So it's one of those things where it's like, hey, this guy declared bankruptcy, and he's obviously counseling people against it. And he's talking to them about eating beans and rice and putting money, towards your debts and doing it different ways. And that's fine if that's what you choose to do, if you try it. I know people that have tried it for years, and they didn't have the income to overcome that. So sometimes it's a better idea to say, you know what, I'm gonna say, look, I don't have the income to do that. It's gonna take me forever. I'd rather say I've learned my lesson. I'll cut it off here and I'll start over and I'll do my Dave Ramsey plan after I file bankruptcy, so I can start putting money away that I have left over after expenses and stuff.
Kurt, how many of these special guests will be appearing on Tips from the Bar?
None of them.
None. Well,
a lot of them are dead.
Well, it's okay.
A lot of them are.
That'd be tough.
Actors and actresses and famous people that
we can still try though.
We can try.
We can try.
So there's some that have already passed.
1 in a million.
We can
try. Saying there's a chance.
We can do a seance.
Okay, cool.
See if we can get them via seance. Although we can't do it at Subway. There's actually, I saw a thing online the other day. At a Subway, they had a poster up that said seances and Ouija boards are not allowed at this Subway.
Okay.
I don't know if it was New Orleans or what, but anyway, it was hilarious.
So we'll watch on that.
We'll watch on that, but we will see what we can do.
Yeah, if you want to chime in on that one, let us know.
Oh, we got to watch her.
Chris. Hey, Chris. What's wrong? Thanks for joining us.
It's weird that it did show right there. Okay. It was just delayed. All right.
But so we were discussing somewhat of the attorney-client privilege underneath.
Before I sidetracked it.
That's what we do. We get sidetracked. We just jump in and tips come out. We can't help it. We can't help but get
so
tips.
Much good stuff flowing.
That's what we do. But we were talking about the attorney-client privilege and the kind of importance that role plays. So even if it is a bad situation, whether it's criminal or whether it's a type of commercial lien against you, or whether negotiations are huge for me.
Yeah.
When I'm dealing with whether I'm closing on a property, whether it's residential or commercial, or whether we're doing a sale of your business, I got to know all the details. Otherwise, I cannot walk in there prepared. If I get blindsided, that's not okay.
That's the same thing as a lot of the criminal law stuff can be a negotiation where you try to negotiate a deal.
Yeah.
And if you have the facts and you have the understanding, you can work best to negotiate. Same thing in real estate or business. If you're negotiating from a point of not knowing all the details, you're handicapped. Yeah. You're not going to be as successful for your client as if they give you all the details and say, let's formulate a plan.
Right.
Because you can work from that. You can work from the plan.
We have to have that trusted relationship. You gotta trust us. You gotta work with us, and you believe it. We won't say anything. One, because that would be wrong. But two, it's also restricted by our ethical rules that we're not allowed to. Yep. But I mean, that's just not how we do business. We keep it together, but you got to be honest with us, and we'll be honest with you too. That's something you can trust us with. You're going to be honest with us, and we're going to be honest with you. We'll still fight zealously on your behalf when we need to.
The one thing I say that sometimes clients are like, really, I got to do it this way, and you know what? That's just the best. Again, part of what we're doing is we're looking for the best outcome. We want to give you the best outcome. Now, in negotiation for a piece of property, the best outcome is not losing that property and other assets. The best outcome is to either work a deal to keep the property or sell the property. There's different times when things like this have to happen. Same thing in a bankruptcy. If you've got a lot of equity in the property and maybe you need to do a Chapter 7 and you need to sell the property so you can do the Chapter 7 appropriately to get you in the best position going forward, even though you might want to do 13 and keep the house when you really can't afford it.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunately, some people don't like to hear bad news. I think they don't like to hear what they are. They just want confirmation of what they already thought. But we're attorneys. We're supposed to tell you the way things are, not the way you want them to be.
Yeah. You don't pay us to stroke your ego or even come in for a free consultation for us to do that either. We will respect you while we're breaking this news to you, but we will be upfront and honest with you about any matters that come across. And we hope and expect that you do the same with regard to bringing forth any information that we need to know so we can give you proper advice.
Excellent.
But that's something that's fantastic. Yeah. So we can switch gears here a little bit. I'll reiterate that we are CCSK Law here at Misbehaving Meads.
Yes, it is. Tips from the bar.
Tips from the bar. What you do on Tuesday.
Tips from the mead joint.
Meads tonight. Well, we come back here pretty often.
One of the things, before I delve into one more topic I want to talk about tonight, one of the things we're looking to do coming up soon, we haven't announced it yet, so this is the official announcement, but there's not a date.
I guess it's the soft launch.
It's a soft launch, yeah. This is going to be probably starting in July sometime. I would say it's fair to say July. We're going to be doing Tips from the Bar tour.
That's right.
Where we go around
lining up
different bars in Valparaiso, Portage, Chesterton. We're trying to go all around the area here to do this at a lot of different places, not just in Valpo, but in some of the other cities around too.
Oh yeah, we'll publish out the list. We'll let you know what dates will be where.
If you know somebody that has a bar and they'd love to have us come over there and do it, give us a call. You can call Lindsay 219-230-3600 and call her 9 to 1 Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
And give her the information and we can get that set up.
Let us know. We would love to reach out to the community.
Absolutely.
I mean, we jump on, we work for half an hour and we kind of just talk with you.
Try not to disturb the business.
Try not to disturb
anything. Try to promote it.
On Tuesday, we'll always give a shout out.
Absolutely.
I mean, because honestly, there are some amazing places within the region here that we just love exploring.
A lot of times people just don't know about them. They don't get out enough to know where they're at. And so sometimes it helps to throw it up there and let them see what's up there.
That's right. That's what we definitely try to do. So anyway, look for those dates coming when we launch our.
Because we're not going to be here next week.
No.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait.
Because next week
is just before the 4th of July.
The 3rd.
Yeah.
The 3rd. Everybody's going to be busy celebrating America.
Yeah.
Independence Day.
America.
So
I had one more topic I want to get to tonight. Because I got to go right at 7 and my son is doing a karate demonstration over here.
Woo.
So, yeah. There's 2 of them. I'm missing the first one, but I'm going to the second one. Yeah, you weigh these things out.
2 karate demonstrations, not 2 sons doing 2 different.
No, 2 karate demonstrations.
One son, multiple karate demonstrations. Very impressive.
And so earlier this week, I had a question. So, person has a power of attorney for another person who's in an assisted living facility. And the question is, okay, the person in the assisted living facility still has a driver's license and still has a car, but the doctors have said shouldn't be driving. Fair enough. Happens quite a bit.
Yep.
The person who has the power of attorney is scared. Says, hey, if this person goes out and drives and gets in an accident, am I responsible? The answer is no. It's a power of attorney. You have specific guidelines. You can make financial decisions. If it's a power of attorney for financial decisions, you can make some healthcare choices. If it's a power of attorney that covers healthcare. So they're very specific responsibilities that you have. It does not involve, hey, this person bit one of the staff at the facility. Not that this person would do that, but if they go out and wreck the car, it wrecks somebody else's car, it has no effect on the power of attorney. They're just there to help make decisions for that person.
Quick disclaimer, if you as power of attorney decide to bite the staff on behalf of that person, using that power of attorney, you will be responsible for that. Mm-hmm.
And this does not excuse the fiduciary responsibility that the power of attorney has. You can't just go out and say, oh, I went and I tried to put $100,000 on red and I lost.
Yeah.
Is that okay? No, it's not.
So don't fight people and don't abuse your power
privileges.
As a power of attorney.
Absolutely.
You have to act in the best interest of the person to whom your power of attorney for.
Yep.
Yeah.
So interesting. Just one little thing that came up this week that I
which that's come across before. I've had people ask me that too. If I sign off as a power of attorney for the person, am I going to be liable for that?
Yeah.
And well, you are taking on a fiduciary responsibility to do in the best interest of them, but that doesn't mean you have to sit there and control every action they take. They're still their own person, and they are going to take actions of their own, whether they're incapacitated or not. Yeah. They're still going to take actions, and you won't be held liable for them biting a staff member or doing something that you could not have prevented.
The one thing that and this kind of applies into the states as well. So RG's not here to speak up about this. But
RG does a lot of those power of attorneys.
If you're doing something on behalf of somebody else and you have to sign for them, don't just sign your name. Because if you just sign your name, there's chances that you could be putting your finances on the line. Mm-hmm. So like if you got somebody going into a assisted living facility and it says, I'm responsible for paying for this, and you just sign your name, that could be problematic. You could be giving away the rights to that and saying, I'm going to cover this, right? So the better bet is like your name as power of attorney for the benefit of so and so. There's different ways you can write it, but don't just sign your name.
Yep. When I've done real estate closings in the past, sometimes like I've had clients, they were down in Florida, so I was actually doing the closing for them, right? Yep. I've been hired to do closings on behalf of people before, and I always have to write Isaac Carr as power of attorney for this person. Yep. Or sometimes the title company will switch it and say, this person by power of attorney Isaac Carr, or by Isaac Carr power of attorney. Awkward. It's actually, that was the last one that I did. That was phrased that way. Yeah. It was this person's name by Isaac Carr, power of attorney. It sounds a little more Yoda-ish, where they jumble up the words.
Makes them feel a little wiser.
That must be what it is.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's but anyway, the power of attorney, and that's a good example of power of attorney where my scope is extremely limited. I am allowed for that one closing for that one property to act on their behalf.
So if they go
those
out
papers.
And get an accident in Florida, you're not responsible?
No. See? Or if something happens after the closing to that house, I am not responsible for that. I literally, my scope of responsibility is to sign their name under the power of attorney and specifically state in there that I'm the power of attorney on their behalf.
Yeah.
But that signature is
incredibly important. But you still have fiduciary responsibility to put together, to agree, see that it's the deal that they had agreed to.
Exactly. So I have to look at that paperwork.
There's things. I mean, if you sign a deal on their behalf and the realtor dropped a zero, you got to check that out, right? That's your fiduciary responsibility as power of attorney in that case.
Once I sat in a closing and had to let the title company know that they forgot to add in the surveyor's bill. That there was actually a line item, and then they, a surveyor comes out, they takes the exact parcel and says, this is where your lines are. Well, they submitted a bill, and that was supposed to come out of closing that wasn't listed on it. Oh, wow. So we had to go back during closing and fix that. Right now, it didn't take too long, but it's still something that, as the fiduciary on their behalf, I had to make sure I catch that stuff.
Yeah, otherwise they're going to have to come out of pocket for it later.
That's right.
And at that point, you can argue and say it's supposed to come out of closing. The seller should get it, or whichever. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot harder to do that than it is to get it right the first time.
Right. And if there's wiring instructions, and you have to, which anything over $10,000 has to be wired. Yep. So that's pretty much all the houses out there. You have to know the exact amount that you're supposed to be wiring.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, these are important factors that you miss out on the slight numbers, and it causes a big kerfuffle. Yes, I'm using that word. It causes a big kerfuffle in the entire mortgage process. That's I'm sorry, no legalese.
That's a technical term.
It's a technical term. Kerfuffle. Right? I said the words hooligans pulling shenanigans the other day. Rapscallions. Causing kerfuffles. These are the problems that we stay.
And on that cue, it's my turn to go. Actually, just about is. Please let us know if you have any questions. We like to have a good time here and try to get some useful information and maybe just some interesting things that you didn't know about the law. So we try to cover the bases a little bit.
Or things non-legal too.
Or things non-legal, yeah.
Just general
software, cool software stuff.
Yeah.
Check us out at CCSKLaw.com. You'll see some changes there. Our blog is there. You'll find some changes coming soon to the blog as well.
Oh yeah.
So I'm really excited about where that's going.
Wealth of information. Hopefully they'll be rolling out.
Yeah. Put in a question for us. Do you have a question or want a consultation over the phone or something? Give us a call 219-230-3600.
That's right.
Or go ahead and put in a question there, or even after the fact, come into this. If you're watching this and it's not Tuesday night and you're watching this tomorrow morning or Thursday, feel free to put your question in. We'll get it and we'll answer. Probably it can take like an afternoon or something for us to get to you because we'll see it when Facebook flags us, and we'll come through and check every once in a while.
If you watch our videos instead of the Saturday morning cartoons just to catch up and laugh,
go.
Like this is go ahead.
Feed your mind.
That's right. But let us know if you have any questions.
Yep.
Well, we are CCSK Law. Kurt and Isaac here. RG again on assignment. But we'll be back with you in a couple weeks.
I feel like I just went like this. I feel like Dave Cooley, I cut it out. Yeah, I don't know.
No gang signs here. We don't do that.
No. Dave Cooley from Full House.
Yeah, no gang signs. I know who you're talking about.
Cut it out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's not a gang.
Yeah, I feel like he has a good
He's
cult
the
following.
Olsen twins gang.
He's got a good cult following.
Have a good week, everybody. Enjoy next week for the 4th of July. Be safe.
That's right.
Don't blow off any fingers. Don't drink and fireworks.
That's right. There's a good legal tip for you.
Yep.
Also very practical. Don't do that.
I got a story about that sometime. I'll tell you all.
All right.
Not for me, a guy in my neighborhood. It was.
We will talk with all of our fingers and toes next in a couple weeks.
2 weeks from tonight.
About
2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Anyway,
Thanks.
See ya.